I just want to play a couple minutes of Harry Truman for you because it is gonna this step into the Wayback Machine with me and what was his name and Mr. Peabody and Sherman and Mr. Peabody, and listen to Harry Truman in 1948 speaking at the Democratic National Convention. This is President Harry Truman. Let me see if tell me if this volume works.
It was said when OPA died that prices would adjust themselves for the benefit of the country. They have adjusted themselves all right. They've gone all the way off the chart in adjusting themselves at the expense of the consumer and for the benefit of the people that hold the goods.
He's talking about things he's trying to get through Congress.
I called a special session of Congress in November 1947, November the 17th, 1947. And I set out a 10-point program for the welfare and benefit of this country, among other things, standby price control. I got nothing. Congress has still done nothing. Way back 4.5 years ago, while I was in the Senate, we passed a housing bill in the Senate known as the Wagner-Ellender-Taft bill. It was a bill to clear the slums in the big cities and to help erect low-rent housing. That bill, as I say, passed the Senate 4 years ago. It died in the House. That bill was reintroduced in the 80th Congress as the Taft-Ellender-Wagner bill. The name was slightly changed. But it was practically the same bill, and it passed the Senate. It was allowed to die in the House of Representatives. The Banking and Currency Committee sat on that bill. It was finally forced out of the committee. Then the Rules Committee took charge, and it's still in the Rules Committee.
Deja vu all over again?
But desperate pleas from Philadelphia in that convention that met here 3 weeks ago couldn't get that housing bill passed. They passed a bill they called a housing bill, which isn't worth the paper it's written on.
That's what Republicans do. That's what Republicans do. They pass things. They say, oh, well, we'll solve the problem. Sure, we'll fix Medicare. Here's Harry Truman.
In the field of labor, we needed moderate legislation to promote labor management harmony. But Congress instead passed that so-called Taft-Hartley Act, which has disrupted labor management relations and will cause strife and bitterness for years to come if it's not repealed, and the Democratic platform says it ought to be repealed.
Taft-Hartley is what is used by now Michigan to create the right to work for less states. That's Taft-Hartley.
I tried to strengthen the Labor Department. The Republican platform of 1944 said if they were in power, they'd build up a strong Labor Department. You know what they've done to the Labor Department? They've simply torn it up.
Just like today.
There's only one bureau left that's functioning, and they cut the appropriation on that, so it can't hardly function.
Just like today.
I recommended an increase in the minimum wage.
Just like today.
What'd they get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's 1948. He's talking about the Republicans.
I suggested that the schools in this country are crowded, teachers underpaid, that there are a shortage of teachers. One of the greatest national needs, more and better schools. I urge the Congress to provide $300 million to aid the states in meeting the present educational crisis. Congress did nothing about it. Time and again, I've recommended improvements in Social Security law, including extending protection to those not now covered.
Listen.
Increase the amounts of the benefits. Reduce the eligibility age of women from 65 to 60 years.
To 60.
Congress studied the matter for 2 years but couldn't find time to extend the increased benefits, but it did find time to take Social Security benefits away from 750,000 people. And they passed that over my veto.
That's what Republicans do if they get their hands on Social Security, is they take it away from people.
I've repeatedly asked the Congress to pass a health program. The nation suffers from lack of medical care. That situation can be remedied anytime the Congress wants to act upon it. Everybody knows that I recommended to the Congress a civil rights program. I did so because I believe it to be my duty under the Constitution. Some of the members of my own party disagree with me violently on this matter, but they stand up and do it openly. People can tell where they stand, but the Republicans all profess to be for these measures. But the 80th Congress didn't fail to act, and they had enough men there to do it, and they could have had cloture. They didn't have to have a filibuster. There were enough people in that Congress that would vote for cloture. Now, everybody would like to have low taxes. But we must reduce the national debt in times of prosperity.
They were in prosperity.
And when tax relief can be given, it ought to go to those who need it most and not go to those who need it least, as this Republican rich man's tax bill did when they passed it over my veto on the third try.
So there you go. There's a lot more in there, but we just burned through 6 minutes of the show here. Harry Truman was an amazing guy, an amazing politician, and with that speech, he won the White House. But not only did he win the White House, he took the House of Representatives, and the Republicans didn't get it back for 40 years. It wasn't until the Bill Clinton administration and Newt Gingrich was able to engineer, his little contract on America, his 10-point plan, 6 of which pointed back to a piece of legislation that simply dropped taxes on rich people. Amazing.